What up, Heart Squad, and welcome to the official reveal video of my lost $55,000 Pokemon card. Wait. You're telling me the market has changed within the past 5 months? And you're saying that my Charizard card could potentially be worth over $200,000? Yeah. Welcome everybody, I am beyond excited for this video because in this box is what is supposed to be my long lost brother, the first edition base set Charizard card that was lost in the mail for over 5 months. And last week, out of nowhere, randomly appeared at its final destination, PSA grading in California. I spoke all about the journey last week. I will update y'all more in today's video, along with revealing the grade, which I have done my absolute best to not finding out what the grade is until today to share this experience with y'all. So, it's not just gonna be a reveal today. This, of course, was requested by y'all to do another Guess That Grade, where I will be grading some other very, very rare Pokemon cards today, which one of them is another first edition Charizard card. But if y'all can, please consider, as I remove hair from my face, consider subscribing to the channel, and please leave a like for our Charizard returning. Let's get this video to 50,000 likes because 1, I am beyond nervous about the results, and 2, I still to this day cannot believe that my Charizard is back. But more on that to come. Today we will be doing a Guess That Grade. It will be up to you and I to take a very, very close look at 2 Pokemon cards, vintage ones, that I've pulled recently. Guess or predict the grade. I will be going to a grading company, which today will be Beckett Grading Services, or BGS, in hopes of basically getting a BGS Beckett 10, or maybe even a black label from Beckett. Well, let's get into the first card that was pulled this week, a first edition Dark Dragonite card. The second best card that you can pull. I still have hair on my face right now. The second best card that you can pull from a first edition Team Rocket booster pack, and we pulled it this week. And we're gonna be very, very carefully taking the next 2 cards out of the sleeve, because you will see, and more so on the next card, that these are in almost as perfect condition as you can possibly get for some vintage cards, because they were sitting in the packs for 20 years. So, there are 4 categories to take a look whenever you are grading a card, no matter if you go to Beckett or PSA. First off, one of the most important ones is centering. That is the yellow border on the front of the card and the blue border, which we will get to on the back. Basically, how congruent are all the borders of a card? Very important. Wait, is that holofoil bleed? That was my spit on the card. Gonna have to do a better job at this. So, taking a look at the centering for this Dark Dragonite, it looks in almost perfect centering shape, if not I have seen 10s, like my first edition Zapdos base set card. It got perfect centering, I believe. A 10 out of 10. So I'm gonna give this a 10 for centering. Next up, you wanna take a look at that surface. Now, especially with older cards, you gotta look out for different types of factory mishaps, like print lines, which taking a closer look at the holofoil pattern of this Dragonite, I don't see any print lines. I didn't see any before. Very subtle lines that can go vertically or horizontally. Don't really ever see them diagonal or anything. That would be scratches, which could potentially happen on a card. Since these are pack fresh, I would hope there are no scratches, but it's happened before. Also, you want to look at any minor blemishes or just dots on the surface of the card for this. On the surface of the card, I don't see anything on the front, fortunately. Then you want to go to edges. Any scuffs, factory type of mishaps. Again, not mishaps, but you know what I'm talking about. You want to look at all the sides. You want to look at the corners. For the fourth and final one, which is arguably the most difficult one to get perfect condition, the corners, the four corners. Now let's switch along to the back, and you will see what I mean. Centering looks the exact same, looks perfect. Corners wise, and edges wise, that looks perfect. There may be a little bit of a mark, you can kind of tell right there, so that's something to keep note of. Perfect for that corner. Looks like there may be, and this is what I was kind of referring to, one little white mark right there. Otherwise, maybe one little white mark there, unless I can get that off later. And maybe a tad whitening right there. Otherwise, edges look fine. Nothing with the surface for the back. So, my prediction, and I'm usually optimistic, but it's if I can get a 10, Beckett Pristine 10 in this, I don't even know if there is one. I, of course, will go into values and population reports, which means how many of these cards are graded in the wild out there, later on in this video. When we get the results, because we will get the results of this in the same video, I'm going to say this is going to get a very, very strong Beckett or BGS 9.5, which would translate to a PSA 10 most likely. However, it's not always the case. So there it is, first edition Dark Dragonite. Next up, and this one will go a bit faster because before I was explaining, is of course the one and only first edition Dark Charizard that I pulled over a week ago. And I actually am gonna say my prediction. Actually, let's take a look. Because I did take a look at this one after the opening and I put it in the sleeve. I have to be super careful with this because the only thing that I could see hurting this card would be the centering. Otherwise, this is, if not one of the strongest 9.5s you will see, it may be the first ever, and I'll have to check that, Beckett Pristine 10, which would be incredible. Because you will take a look, centering, which I've seen centering like this before pass off as a 10, and it's not bad centering. You can just maybe tell from right and bottom to that side it may be a tad off. But for the most part, let's take a look. You will see no print lines, no scratches on Mr. Charizard. Going to the back, and this is what I'm most proud of. Very careful. By the way, never use gloves. They're bad. You will take a look. This is as flawless as a back as possible, except one very minuscule detail, and I have to be very careful. The top right, there it is. Very, very small, a tad bit of whitening. Otherwise, flawless. 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 So basically, getting a 10, Beckett Pristine Gold Label 10, because we're not going to get a black label, that's impossible for these older cards. You need 3 10s and a 9.5. Let's give the corners a 9.5. Everything else, let's give it a 10. And let's be optimistic for our prediction of a first edition Dark Charizard BGS Beckett 10 Pristine Gold Label. Now, very, very carefully putting this back in the sleeve. Next time we see this, it will be graded, which will be later on in this video. But enough is enough. Here is the box. I will get into the box, which you've already seen mangled because I wanted to get it ready to just open, take a look at the card, and fill you in on how this actually got to me after being lost for 5 months in this next part after we go to Beckett.
A few moments later.
And we're back in the studio, and it's time for the results of my first edition Dark Charizard, Dark Dragonite, and of course, the one, the only first edition base set Charizard that's been lost for 5 months. Inside the box is the card and the results from PSA grading. Before we get to that, we do have this box from the results of the first edition Dark Charizard and Dragonite. Now, let's open said box and reveal what is hopefully, don't look. All right, here we go. This is, okay, first edition Dark Dragonite. I believe I said this should get a strong BGS 9.5. However, I had thought the Charizard was in better condition, but let's see. 9.5! Wow! The centering got a flawless, perfect 10, and it's 9.5s all around. Give yourselves a big old pat on the back for the results for this one. A first edition Dark Dragonite. So, even though I had shown the corners, especially this corner, I mean, it's very, very minuscule, but I had shown several things with the corners and stuff of this card, and they still got a 9.5. Surface 9. This is making me feel pretty strongly about our chances at getting a Beckett Pristine 10 for the Charizard. So this BGS 9.5 population report will be on screen now, as well as the value for this is approximately around $2,000 for a BGS 9.5. And this is a very, very strong one, which is awesome. So this guy coming in at a BGS 9.5. Very, very happy about that, which means the Dark Charizard is this card. Put the box over here. Confirmed, Dark Charizard. So basically, there are apparently a couple Beckett Pristine 10s of this card. I think there was 2. If it comes back still 10, it's gonna be worth, I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars. Even a 9.5, I think it's around $2.5 to $3,000, depending on how strong it is. My prediction was a BGS 10 Pristine Gold label. Let's see. A 9.5, but the corners got a 9. Wait, what? I swear we just showing the corners were better than the Dark Dragonite corners. That's weird, but look at that. Centering got another perfect 10 on the Charizard, which I believe I thought the centering may have been a bit more like worse on the Charizard than this is interesting. And then 9.5s all around. Little disappointed on the 9.5s, as I really did believe that, you know, what is exactly wrong with the card. However, I will defer to Beckett in this case because there are so many variables looking into what makes a card perfect, what makes a card flawless, that just looking at it from the naked eye, you really don't know. This is in the case, not on the card. So I had thought this was as close as you're going to get to a Beckett Pristine 10, and don't get me wrong, with those grades, those are great. I'm sure we can regrade this and get the corners bumped up. Potentially, don't know. It's never, you know, obviously guaranteed. But this is still very, very strong. And like I said, these are going for, get in focus please, around $2,500, which is a very nice chunk of change. And Population-wise, it will have been on screen as well. So overall, for a little mini Guess That grade, 2 very strong scores of BGS 9.5s. And these are from the cards that we pulled recently. So I'm very happy about that. But now, it's time. In here is my Lost Charizard card that at the time I had graded it, a PSA 10, was worth $55,000. Now, a PSA 10 goes for over $226,000. Crazy. I thought I would never see the card again. And the other week, it magically appeared at PSA. Tracking just showed it magically appearing at an LA, Los Angeles distribution center from the same tracking I originally sent it in. Now, the story of how this ended up here today, I do have to say, hey, did I just rhyme? I do have to say, it was such an arduous process of following the video that I did, because I still had tried getting in contact with PSA when I saw that they had gotten the card. It was impossible. They had actually, and get this, PSA, before I can even get a hold of somebody, or even when I did, because earlier that day I did speak to somebody, but I still was unable to stop the card. It actually got shipped back to me. I was on pins and needles, but thankfully, it was not USPS this time. It was good old UPS, which is not necessarily the best, but better than a USPS. And it just magically shipped. So I wish from PSA's end, they could have done a better job on that. I know they're buried with submissions and stuff, but when I did speak to the lady trying to get this, better handling on this, and it still shipped out, but thankfully it had arrived via UPS. I ran out my door, not wearing any shoes when it arrived. I saw the UPS guy actually have this, because I saw the little fragile on the side, put it on his seat, but he had another bigger package for me. He comes over to me and he's like, so I can't find one of your packages, but you mind if I come later and give it to you? And I was like, no, I see it. I see the package that I'm wanting, not the big one, that little one that you just left on your seat. And he was like, oh, no, that one's the second one that I got for you right now. It's another one, can I come back later? I'm like, okay, I don't care. Just give me that one. Give me. I was like, what is it? The golem from Lord of the Rings. Come on the run. And I got the box, clutched it, and haven't since until wanting to do this reveal video for y'all. Now, one thing before I finally get into it, the Nidoking from Aquapolis, the Crystal Nidoking that I had pulled, is still at PSA because that was its own submission, and I, as of right now, do not know the score, but I promise you I'll do another Guess That grade to reveal that card, because I am fully expecting that one to get a PSA 10, for sure. This one, now we can focus our attention to minimum PSA 9, unless, which brings me back to my questions that I had originally asked. I don't know the condition that this card arrived in. I am assuming PSA would not have even accepted the package if the box was like all mangled and stuff. But who knows? I don't know. So we are going to find out if the card even arrived in good condition or not. So much is on the line here, but most importantly, I'm just grateful that I even got this card back. We pulled it together as a community. It was an insane video, and no matter what happens, no matter what grade we get, I am forever grateful that I got it back and that I get to share this opportunity with the Heart Squad, you, this amazing community. By the way, this is the logo, if you can see it, I like it. So, it is time to reveal the grade and see for the first time since it went missing 5 months ago, my first edition base set Charizard. I am scared right now. Is this the back? Okay, this is... Woo! Oh my gosh! Watch it be like a Machop or something. So, okay, so everything in the papers and everything's in there. I don't know why I'm covering the top, but it's so crazy that it's come to this. Heart Squad, please, leave a like. And a PSA Mint 9! Welcome home, Charizard! I can't believe it. I can't believe it. He's home. He's finally home. First edition Charizard Mint 9. This is now around a $75,000 card. I can't believe that it's back. Let's take a look at this. Now, you can definitely tell the centering is off, which is what mainly probably hindered it from getting that PSA 10, which it's very difficult to get that PSA 10. I can't complain at all. The card arrived, got a PSA 9. I'm so happy about this. So happy about this. Take a look at the corners. I mean, wow, for a card that, you know, you never know what you're gonna get when you pull them out of the pack. There's a little whitening at the corner of there, but fantastic. Look at this beauty. Charizard is finally home 5 months later. And I can't believe that I'm holding this card right now. Amazing. Heart Squad, and everybody else watching, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Until next time, my name is Leonhart. Stay awesome, stay positive, and as always, I will see y'all in the next video.